Hi. Let's talk about the first three Infinity comics with the From the Ashes tag. Full spoilers ahead, so you're forewarned. Eversong, the title of the this comics, divided into three parts, has Scott and Jean spending some downtime in Norway after the events in Uncanny X-Men 700. As expected, things do not proceed as planned, and Jean, being a universal entity, acted as a catalyst and reignited a psychic residue, which then took hold of several patrons of a ski resort, including Scott. Against this backdrop, yes, I think this is just the backdrop. The emotional core of the story unfolded, and it packs quite a punch. It really does, even on the second and third reading. Future Tyler here, and I read all three parts a couple more times than this Tyler. Uh, Scott, realizing that Jean will eventually forget him and wanted to make an indelible memory of them before she leaves Earth for space. What's really heartbreaking here is not that Jean will forget Scott. Yes, that is sad, but I think for me, Scott realizing that his dream of them growing old together and doing mundane stuff with their grandkids will never come to pass. In some ways, I think that is the broken promise of Krakoa. I also can't help thinking about how Jean would feel about leaving Logan behind, and how Scott feels about Emma and Tony now. Scott kind of lost everything. Imagine going from family dinners in the summer house on the moon to having no one. I feel him. Scott also alluded that they had some bad memories recently. I think that likely refers to their disagreements regarding Brew and the Broad, and then what happens after to them separately. Scott getting captured and tortured, and then Jean dying again. Um, After reading part three of this story, I strongly feel that this should be read at one go. Reading only the first two parts of Eversong, I was left thinking that maybe this is yet another like nothing story, like the Bloodhound Psylocke tie-in. But part three totally changed it for me. To be fair, you did forget about some of those like hints earlier in part one and two. Yeah, I mean, I was more than a little bit annoyed that Jean was kind of acting impatient, and Scott was kind of like wishy washy. A departure from their growth over the years. I'm thinking they should be communicating better, especially with the confidence that Scott has gained since like Decimation. I think this is meant to show some sort of vulnerability in Scott. It is still odd to me that Scott went out to get some ice and did not return, and Jean just like, oh, I'm gonna have a drink at a bar. She promised not to read his mind. Yeah, Scott was trapped inside his own mind in the Red Triangle room, in his first X-Men costume, which is a nice touch. Suggests that the O5 were taught this method very early on. It's true, and it is also, it's a good time to now talk about Neves art here, and I find it quite difficult to fully comment on the art. I could be wrong, but it appears that the story was first drawn in a traditional pennant page, and then reworked to fit the Infinity vertical continuous format. Besides drawing beautiful characters, creatures and things, the flow of the panels on a page is has an impact on how much I like or dislike an artist's work. So I find this vertical flow to be slightly tedious, and it is not as smooth as it should be, which is why I suspect the reworking part. It becomes even more apparent on the second reading when the top-down flow forces your eye to see a panel that way when they are meant to be followed upwards sometimes. I can only judge by what I have on hand, and the art is okay to me. I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. So, in conclusion, without part three, I would have given this another 1 out of 5. But together with part three, the story actually jumps up to a good, I'd say 3.25 out of 5. Without any foreknowledge of X-Men, which comes out next week, and Phoenix in the week after. I'm not sure how much this story will factor into those books, but for now, I will categorize this as essential reading. I could not agree more with myself, and that's it. Like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoy this and want to see more X content in the future. Tyler out.